Hello, everybody. As promised, I'm going to quickly talk about compound interest and the power of compound interest. This is something that I think that everybody should know before they graduate high school. Like, you should be able to tell your teacher what compound interest is before you graduate. Like, that should be an absolute requirement. I didn't learn that in high school. There was courses offered in college, but they weren't required where you could learn more about personal finance. So everything that I learned about compound interest, I learned with a Google search bar in my local library. So I just wanted to explain, I guess, in simple terms today, how compound interest works and why you should be excited about it. So first, the most basic way to explain compound interest is that compound interest is when you earn interest on top of interest. So I think the best way to understand this is just to use a simple example.
So let's do a quick example here. I am going to just fill it in this spreadsheet right here. So hopefully this is very intuitive. You can see kind of what's going on here with this compound interest that I'm talking about. So let's say that you have $1,000 and you decide that you're going to deposit it into an investment account. And for simplicity's sake, we're going to say that you earn 10% interest on this investment every single year, okay? Just flat 10% interest. So I'm going to show you how compound interest works here. So your starting balance in your account in year one would be $1,000. Let's say you deposited on January 1. Now the interest earned is going to be 10% on the $1,000. So you're going to earn $100 in interest in year one. So that means your new balance is going to be your initial deposit plus the interest you earned, or $1,100. So then starting year two in January, you have $1,100 to work with. Now, this is where the compound interest happens. So instead of earning 10% on your initial $1,000 deposit, you are earning 10% interest on the $1,100. So now you'll have $110 of interest that you earned. And that will make your new balance $1,210 at the end of year two. So the key here is that you're earning interest in year two on your initial deposit plus the interest you earned in year one. So you're not just earning interest on that initial $1,000. So hopefully through this, you can see the importance of starting investing early when you're young, so that compound interest keeps snowballing.
So hopefully you can see from that simple example the importance of time. And this is where investing when you're young becomes key, because the longer you can leave that money in the account, the more interest it can earn. And not only interest on what you originally deposit, because then time wouldn't matter, right? But interest on what you deposit plus what you earn every year. That's why it's so important to start investing when you're young. I think that a lot of people think in regards to debt, they see it backwards. They say, well, I might as well accumulate this debt while I'm young so that I have time to pay it off. Well, when you accumulate debt, you are paying interest. You are not earning interest. So you, likely, if you're accumulating all this debt when you're young, you don't have a ton of money left over to invest in the first place. So you don't end up investing till later in life, and you don't have that opportunity for your investment to grow as much, because you will only have, let's say you start investing when you're 55, then you have 12 years of earnings. Whereas if you start investing when you're 25, can you imagine what your earnings could be by the time you're able to retire? So that is the importance of compound interest, and that is how it works. And I'm going to show you an example using the average car payment in America. So if you invested the average car payment over time, what you would have average. Here on Dave Ramsey's website, you can find this nice little investment calculator where you can see if you set aside this much each month in an investment account, what you would have at retirement age. So like I said, we're going to use the example of the average car payment in America, which is $530. Unbelievable, I know. So let's get the facts. So let's say that you're starting at age 21 and you plan to retire at 67. You have $0 saved so far, and you're going to contribute $530 monthly. And we said for simplicity's sake, you think your average annual return will be 10%. The S&P 500 30-year return is, the average is roughly 12%, so we're being a little bit conservative here. So let's go ahead and calculate what we'd have at retirement. So if you contributed your car payment to an investment account instead of by using it to buy an asset that's declining in value, you would contribute over your lifetime to retirement $292,000, and you would have a little over 5.8 million at retirement. This gets me so excited. No one talks about it. So yeah, this is how your investment would grow right here. And we said, initially we had nothing. So we didn't start with anything in our account. So now to show the power of time in starting young, let's say instead that you start at age 35. And let's see the difference between what you have at retirement. So remember, we had a little over 5.8 million. So if you start instead at age 35, you would have almost 1.3 million. But can you see the difference there? How much more you have if you would just start young? So yeah, you can go online and use this handy tool and see, okay, type in your age and what you can contribute monthly, and then what you think your average annual return will be and how much you'll have at retirement. But I would say the first step, especially for beginners, is to just calculate it. Just start. Just where do you think that you want to end up at retirement? Do you want to be able to have the same lifestyle that you have now? Hopefully by retirement age, you have your home paid off and you have no debt, hopefully, and your expenses are minimal. That's the hope. So if that's the case, what can you live off of? And then take the first step and go online and just calculate, well, how much, if this is what I want, how much do I need to set aside now? So many people just coast through life without doing these things, and then they expect someone to ride in on a white horse and save them at retirement. And that's just not going to happen. You are responsible for your financial freedom. You are responsible for your future. So take control, take initiative. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be, drawn away because you feel like you're not qualified to do something like that, or because it stresses you out to talk about money. The important first step is just taking action. I read it in the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that one of the 7 habits of highly effective people is that they are proactive. So be proactive in regards to your financial future and everything else in life. But this is just one thing that I wanted to talk about today. So hopefully you can get an idea of what compound interest is and how it works. And if you have any questions, comment down below and let me know, and I will answer those for you.